Hi everyone, it's Chris Lechner, and I'm going to present problem number 16 from chapter 2, and this is wanting us to find the Banzhaf power index for a certain equation. The equation is this right there, and you see that the quota is 5 and the players are player 3, player 2, player 1, and the fourth is also player 1. So when you go to figure out this index, you have to take the players and you add them up. First of all, you come up with your coalitions. And the coalitions start off with player 1 plus player 2, and that comes up with 5. Then you'll also see player 1 and player 3, player 1, player 4, player 2, player 3, player 2, player 4, player 3, player 4, and then down below are in threes, and you take player 1, player 2, player 3, then you switch them around, player 1, player 3, player 2, player 1, player 3, player 4, and so on. And by doing this, you take the players, which player 1 is 3 points, or 3. Player 2 is 2. Like I said, player 3 is 1, and player 4 is 1. Now, you take these to get their total weight. And the total weight to decide if they're a winning coalition is if they add up to 5 or more, which is the quota. So as you can see here, as we go down, we add up the players in these coalitions off over to this side. So as you go along, you see you've got player 1 and player 2 is 3 plus 2 equals 5. That meets quota, so that is a winning coalition. The next you see is player 1 and player 3, which is 3 plus 1 equals 4. So that is not a winning coalition. You go down to the next one, and you see also the quota adds up to 4, which is not a winning coalition, and so on. And then when you get to the bottom part where there's the 3, you will also see how they add up, where the first set up here shows you 3 plus 2 plus 1 equals 6, which makes quota. Then 3 plus 2 plus 1 again is quota. 3 plus 1 plus 1 is 5, which is a quota. And then there's the 2 plus 1 plus 1, but that does not make quota. And then, of course, all of the players together add up to make 7. So then you would go along. Hard to do this looking at the monitor in front of me. But then they want you to figure out how many of these players, what was their critical number in the equation. And so if you go along and you see over here, player 1 had 5 different times over here that they were a critical player. Player 2 had 3, player 3 and player 4 didn't have any. So you add that up and you get 8. So that gives you your information to solve the Banzhaf power index. You take the critical number, which is the 8, and you put that under their critical number, the 5, so that gives you 5/8. 5/8 equals 0.625. which for percentage equals up to 62.5%. Then player 2 had 3 of them, so you put 3 over 8. That gives you 0.375, which in percentage is 37.5%. And then, of course, player 3 and player 4 have 0, so they have 0%. So by adding up these two, you see that that comes to 1, meaning these are the power players in this equation. And of course, you see also that player 1 has more control when it comes to elections or anything like that. They would have the major control. So that is my description and explanation of Banzhaf power index, and I hope I was able to explain it fairly clearly. So thanks.